back. We're going to now focus on the North India markets, Mohali, Ghaziabad and Greater Noida to be precise. We've got our next caller, Satish Pangotra, on the phone line with us. Satish, go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my query. My budget is around 40 lakhs and I'm looking to buy a 2 BHK flat near Mohali or Greater Mohali.
Okay.
So please give me some good options.
Okay, and you live in Chandigarh, right?
I work in Chandigarh, yes.
You work in Chandigarh, so wants to now obviously buy something, must be living on rent. What do you think?
Yeah, when it comes to Mohali, there are basic key micro markets that we've always been recommending is the Kharar-Banur road, because that's the market which is going to be very organized. A lot of investment activity has happened over there. It's a place to be in for the future, which starts with sector 93 to 100 and 104 to 117.
So you're saying still Mohali or Greater Mohali?
No, we are talking about this is Greater Mohali as such.
This is Greater Mohali.
Yeah.
No, Kharar-Banur road is
absolutely,
Greater Mohali.
Absolutely.
So you're saying Mohali maybe 40 lakhs?
You won't get anything. That's too expensive a micro market as such. When you're talking about the mid segment, the weighted average price are still pretty reasonable. Kharar-Banur road, although, is now 3450 rupees a square foot, and the other one, which is Chandigarh Kharar road, is slightly cheaper at 2800. The price appreciation trends are quite muted now, 26% and 21% for both the respective micro markets, translating to a 10 and an 8% on an annualized basis. Since you are paying reasonable rents, you're advised to buy a ready-to-move-in property. Your budget is decent enough for buying ready-to-move-in projects with decent locations in Mohali as such. Recommendations, Gilco Heights by Gilco Developers. This is available with the developer. It's a 350-acre integrated township. Possession for the project is going on and around 50 families have already shifted in. Orchard County 1 by Ansal API, Sector 115. This is also a project is on a standalone basis in Sector 115 with 2 mini townships called Golf Links 1 and 2 in Sector 114 and 115. 2 towers were launched in 2012, Tulip and Carnation, but both the towers have only got 3 BHKs with minimum size being 1644 square foot. So the 2 BHK option will be in Orchard County 1. Wellington Heights by Taneja Developers is the third recommendation, available from the resale market though. Project is part of a TDI city, phase 1 around 300 acres, and phase 2 of TDI is still under development and has a better location.
Alright, so there are 3 projects which you can buy into, Satish. Those are on your screen, Gilco Heights, then there's also Orchard County and Wellington Heights. But to all our viewers, Samir, I think the important point that they must notice is, as we are capturing data for more quarters, is that this view that property prices don't come down. In most micro markets that we've been covering in the last 2 weeks, we can see the trend of property prices cooling and they're actually dropping. Mohali is one market. Then we saw another market yesterday where prices have actually, declined by 2% over the last quarter, 2 to 3%. So don't live in that, myth that real estate prices never come down. They do give you, there are great markets and good opportunities as well to buy into. Davinder Singh on the phone line with us with his next question. Mr. Singh, hi, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Uganda. I have a query. I have a 1680 square foot 3 BHK flat at Provio Laboni project at Crossing Republic, Ghaziabad. I have made total investment of 55 lakhs and I want to sell the flat. Please advise me, should I retain this flat or sell it immediately?
Alright, so this is Laboni Proview and it's at Crossing Republics in Ghaziabad. Seems expensive, isn't it? 55 lakhs he's saying. Yeah. But that's self-funding, bank interest, registry, furnishing. So it's a fully loaded price. Yeah,
the current resale price is 3200 rupees a square foot, which is in line with the market as such. The returns have hardly been there because he got in at a slightly later stage where returns started to get a bit muted, right? If your unit is between 1st to 10th floor, you can actually fetch around 55 lakhs, equivalent to your investment price, but there will be no profit, no loss deal for you actually. However, the property has not appreciated well due to a sedate market conditions over the last one year and because of the additional issues of the dump yard, traffic congestion and so on and so forth. If you look at the data points, although the inventory overhang is reasonably safe, is 14 months, the weighted average price is in line with the market. It's 3400 rupees a square foot, and the price appreciation trends have been 25% over the last 2.5 years, which have also been quite muted or 10% on an annualized basis as such. So at this point in time, what we would recommend is recommend to you is to hold on to the property as such.
You know, post-elections, if there's a sentiment boost, then probably at least he would get a little bit of returns. But how long do you hold if a property is underperforming, so it's not even giving him bank FT returns? Is it better to just exit and then look at another real estate investment or any alternate financial investments, Amir?
Well, yeah, if he wants to make that move and not make a no profit low loss basis.
Is there hope that this property will at least catch up to, let's say, a bank FT return?
Yes, definitely. There is definitely hope because Crossing Republics is getting more and more people to move in and it's becoming an integrated township to stay in, and eventually the infrastructure, which is the metro, which is connectivity, is also supposed to go up to Indirapuram at least. So I think eventually over a period of time an FD return should be possible.
Alright, so Mr. Singh, no great shakes expected from this market, and you've also entered the property at an expensive rate. If you've got the patience, hold on to it. You could see FD linked returns, but if you're looking for higher returns, then well, wherever you get a buyer with a sentiment turnaround, do exit from the property. Rajesh Kumar Gupta on the phone line with us. Rajesh, hi, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Rajesh. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, Rajesh.
Yeah, actually I have a budget of 25 lakh to 35 lakh. I am looking in this budget Noida extension, some 2 BHK flat, and I have selected Pansil Green 2, and one more unproject is Amatra project. Okay. So I would like to know this project is good for me. But they are giving a positioning of 2 to 3 years time.
Alright, so a couple of projects that he wants a view on. What do you think, Samir?
Yeah, so if you look at the projects, the first project, which is Gaur Atulyam, gets a go-ahead from our side. It is trading between 2200 to 2800 rupees a square foot. It's at a pre-launch stage. It has a good location in sector Omnicon and is in close proximity.
But you're giving a go-ahead to a pre-launch project?
Yeah, because the price is very attractive. Gorsons India has delivered every time. If you look at the other project between the two, Oasis Grandstand, that project, the developer doesn't have too much of a delivery track record. And if you look at the key data points of the micro market, there is a lot of supply, 30,000 units and 24 months of the inventory overhang. But look at the weighted average price, 3,400 rupees a square foot. So the first project is much lower than the weighted average price of the market, 33% odd lower. So he may get an entry at a very low price. The other recommendation from our side is Lotus Greens by Lotus Green Developers, 2,750 rupees a square foot. This project is also in a pre-launch stage right now and is currently available at 2,700 rupees a square foot. The promoters have successfully raised 350 crores of private equity funding for future projects, including Lotus Greens. So that's a big positive for this as such.
Alright, so one project by Gorsons gets a go-ahead even though it's an early stage project because of the reputation of the developer. The other one, we don't know the track record of the developer in terms of delivery. So we'll say avoid, and the third one that we recommend you go ahead with is also on the screen. So it's interesting to see that there are still, I mean, Greater Noida Yamuna Expressway probably is now one of the only stretches left for the sub 30 lakh flats, isn't it, Samir?
Yes, absolutely. Everything else is way beyond the 30 lakh.
So a lot of attention there, and you don't know if the market turns around. These flats actually, especially if you're buying below the average market price of that area, could do extremely well. It is one of the paradoxes, isn't it, of Delhi. It is one of the most polluted cities in the world, and it's also one of the greenest. Almost 1/5 of the region is covered by vegetation, a green area that has doubled between 2001 and 2011. So how has Delhi managed to increase its green cover despite the rapid urbanization? Nidhi Rai tries to get some answers.
Residents of Sarvodaya Enclave are full of joy, and the reason for their happiness is this mini forest in the vicinity of their house. They think that the people living in the locality are blessed by the woods.
I try and come here as often as I can. I think this is the best green belt that is really there. It is very natural and it's very soothing to come here. This is like the lungs of this area, really. So it's always a pleasure coming here.
The latest India State of Forest Report 2011 brought out by the Union Ministry of Environment and Forest says Delhi's green cover, which includes shrubs and trees outside forests, doubled in a decade from 151 square kilometre in 2001 to 296.2 square kilometre in 2011. The city's forest department claims the number has gone up by at least 2% now and is set to keep increasing over the next decade.
Delhi is one of the greenest cities in the world, and perhaps in India this is the greenest capital city. And Delhi is green because we have made consistent efforts over the last 15 years to sustain the action of taking greening of Delhi. Under the Green Action Program, every year monsoon.
While all the major cities in India have less than 15% of their area under forest or tree cover and dwindling, Delhi lists a remarkable 20% according to the report. It is followed by Mumbai, which is only 18.73%, Chennai and Kolkata are under 5%, and the worst situation is in Ahmedabad, as the city just has 1.65% of the green belt. There are almost 20 agencies working together to keep the capital green. In total, they have a yearly target of planting 15 lakh saplings in and around the city. Permission to cut a tree is given under the Tree Act, but then 10 saplings have to be planted in lieu of it. Three major acts which play a significant role in saving the greenery is Forest Conservation Act of 1980, Delhi Prevention of Trees Act, and the Indian Forest Act of 1927. Delhi is divided into two zones, the Yamuna floodplains and the Delhi Ridge. The recorded forest area is 85 square kilometers. Environmentalist Ravi Agarwal, who runs NGO Toxic Links, is of the opinion that Delhi has a green history and the interesting geographical location makes it even more fascinating.
Historically, Delhi has been a city which has had a lot of greenery because it was set in between the ridge and the river. So it had large, very open spaces, unlike cities like Calcutta and Mumbai or even Chennai. And so there's been tradition of horticulture and of forestry.
Delhi's urban forests are the home to the richest biodiversity in the world. With the growing population, large number of migrants keep coming to the city every year. So the question arises, will Delhi be able to save its forest? Because to have a forest in this kind of a scenario is not a luxury but a necessity. With camera person Sudhir Shram, Nidhi Rai, NDTV.
So, the incredibly green Delhi, something that we have to be proud of, isn't
Absolutely.
it, Sameer?
It's the best part about Delhi.
Oh, it's the best part about Delhi. Thanks very much for taking all our questions. Well, if you've got any ideas on how we can make Delhi or any other city of the country more green, do post it on our Twitter or even our Facebook accounts. Meanwhile, thanks very much from my end and goodbye.